mobile, but overall in the market with regard to digital. So with that, Alfred, thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. How was lunch? Beautiful. So I'm always a little bit concerned about doing a panel or doing a talk after lunch because the energy levels tend to be a little bit lower. So hopefully we're gonna elevate things a little bit today with our topic. Today, actually, we have a panel with guests that I think represent a good spectrum of the pillars in mobile marketing in Vietnam. We have Ms. Chanti Thammai from Cantar, representing our research and audience measurement agency. We have Tony Chung, who's representing from the ad tech side of things. Of course, Casper from a media agency, and Satya from the client side, Unilever. I'd like to welcome you all on the stage. Okay, so I know that the session's about sort of looks at numbers, but I don't want to dwell too much in the numbers. I want to really look at beyond the numbers and look at what's going to inspire us as marketers, as agencies, and in the ad tech industry to do more in Vietnam. Obviously, mobile, as we know, is one of the key areas of growth in digital, and when it comes to mobile internet, the stats that have come out lately, we're seeing over 50% of people that are accessing the internet through their mobile device. But I want to sort of start with by asking our guests what they think some of the advantages for marketers in Vietnam by incorporating more mobile into their engagement activities, and perhaps sort of delve a little bit in terms of what they think some of the trends are going to be over the next year or two. I'm going to start with perhaps Casper.
Yeah, thank you. So what is the trends going to be in the future? I hope the first trend is going to be there is that all our advertisers are going to have a mobile optimized website. And I don't think that is maybe the biggest trend, but I think I'm hoping that's going to happen because I think that is one of the most important things for the potential on mobile advertising spend to grow. And trying to imagine if this was in the physical world where you were trying to coming into some kind of size, sometimes a shop, and suddenly you come in, the door was closed, or worse, it was slapping to your face. And that is how I see a lot of our advertisers' website today, that they're trying to go in from a mobile phone. And I think that is where we need to start if we need to definitely get the most potential out of mobile. So yeah, that I hope I see as the first and most important trend happening in the coming years.
Oh, great. So mobile internet is defined by an experience where you can actually find services, products through brand sites that are mobile accessible. Yeah. That's sort of the key trend.
Try to imagine that maybe over 30% of all the users that are coming into your website is going to see, not going to be able to see your thing, and how much it normally costs and how much money you spend to get those customer in and watching your brand, watching the thing you have on your site. But they're not able to, and you can see it very easy in our analytics that they're going to be bouncing out of your website in less than a second or two if you're not mobile optimized.
Right. How does that sit with Unilever's visions and strategies?
I think from Unilever's standpoint, I think one of the key things, for us, why are we doing mobile hours? The advantage of having mobile in the engagement activity is firstly because, putting consumer at the heart of all your activities, you need to be where they are. So today, obviously, there's no dispute in the fact that all my consumers are on mobile, and one of the interesting trivia I read that apparently globally there are more mobile handphones being sold than toothbrushes. So, with that kind of numbers, obviously, if you want to stay in the league, so definitely you have to be on mobile because that's where all your consumers are. In terms of the trend, I think the big trend that is going to be in the next 1 or 2 years is that we use mobile for isolated campaigns. We collect a lot of data, we collect a lot of numbers, and then we keep it in the Excel sheet and we don't know what to do with it. So I think the next big trend is how we use that data to either retarget, cross-target, upsell, between categories. So I think the using of data, and how we manage it and how we leverage one campaign to the other or between one brand to the other is going to be the big trend, because I think that's something which is not still happening, and I think that should be a big potential for all the advertisers moving forward.
Thanks. That's a really good point. We look at some of the trends now. When it comes to how we target our customers in mobile, I think one of the key challenges for us as agencies and ad tech platforms, media agencies, and also clients is how do we tackle customers who are possibly on a mobile device, then later on are on their tablets or on their PC. And moving away from more of the sort of cookie-based, sort of targeting that's been so sort of prevalent over the last 10, 15 years in digital advertising. So Tony, from an ad micro perspective, what are some of the things or challenges? You're looking at the ability to sort of cross-target across different devices and different channels.
Yeah, I think it's very important to understand that people are using mobile and their laptop, and then they're using other medias as well. So we're looking not just at mobile and other devices, but we have a very dedicated big data center where we're looking at various behaviors. For example, the thing is, we look at a person that might be accessing a site with mobile using the same IP. And then we're linking it with that same IP from a desktop. Then we have a way to look at the behavior from cross-platform and looking at that. So we are doing a lot of that research-based so that we understand more, and we try to incorporate those kind of data into optimizing for some of the more mobile campaigns that we're running.
Okay, great. Through all this data and all this insights and this knowledge, I think one of the questions that we get asked a lot at Ogilvy is, how do we measure success? And I think you pointed out just in your last remark. One of the questions I had, maybe Ms. Ma, you could answer is, are we doing enough from a research perspective to learn from the work that we are doing, from the activities that we are doing through mobile, its effectiveness on other channels as well, and how they work together?
To be honest, I think that at the moment we don't have enough, or we just started to do some research about the mobile marketing, some mobile advertising markets. We haven't brought any tools yet to the markets, but we started to see the potential of the market that might be good. Because I think that to a certain extent, when the market develops, then we will surely bring to the solutions and survey solutions so we can track the ad performance on mobile marketing is better, which we think that coming very soon for next year. But having said that, looking at the potential of mobile marketing, Like Mr. Tony Chern says, we don't think it's alone. It must be very much dedicated on niche marketing. So it's not a replacement of television. It's very much, I think, an add-on. It might be good for your liver to take it on, to remind, to create awareness. But then when you're telling, it's very much, I think, it's a replacement for points of sales. It's very much on time at that moment, in that context. So that's very much a niche marketing tool.
I think I wanted to add on to that. I think there's a kind of misunderstanding in the market. People are thinking, brands are thinking that mobile is an emerging kind of medium. And I think we need to wake up from that. It's not. It's actually a really big part of our operation. And it is not one of those side projects that we do. It's one of the core driving business strategy that we're actually investing in. So while the attendees here, the delegates here, you might be here thinking that mobile is just another medium. I think from our operational perspective, we are the biggest publisher on mobile and also on the web, and we see that it's a big part. It's a very big part of consumers' daily lives. It's just that we do not have enough focus onto that yet from your side, from the delegate side. So for us, what we see is we have 1,300 clients that are using the mobile platform. So when you're talking about this size of the market and we have 1,300 clients using that, that's huge. It's just quiet, but it's not small. And so when we're talking about research and we say, let's wait until the market develops, well, I'm sorry, the market is already big and is already developed. We just need to wake up to that fact and really have a driving force behind it.
Quickly add on one point to this as well. So in terms of, I think, the data, one of the key things, I think, we need to understand is while there are data in isolation, one of the key things that needs to happen is the single source data, because today what we are doing is mobile is working in its isolation, TV is working in its isolation, digital is working, online is working in its isolation. But together, when I try to compile everything and see that overall has that led to my brand growth, business growth, brand health measures, it's a difficult situation. And I don't think I know that most of the markets are not there, even in the developed markets, they're right now putting steps in place to get there. But I think as soon as we can move to that place where we can have a single source data, or if not across all channels at least, where bulk of your media investments are, if we can unify it, that would tremendously help the advertisers as well as I think everyone within the ecosystem. Yeah.
I think one very important thing when you're asking about how do we measure the success of mobile is sometimes to look a little bit further on, instead of just seeing, okay, how many downloaded my app? Because we see often that there's so many what I call CEOs apps out there, where it's most about where we haven't listened to the consumers' insights about how they're going to use it, why they're going to use it, but just producing an app because, I want to show it off to my CEO's buddies. And I think that is one very important thing when we're also looking at the future of the mobile potential and the growth of that, is making sure that we give value to the consumer, we listen to the insights and bring them solutions that can bring your return on investment up there. So I think that is a very important thing to look at as well. And mobile app is not always the solution to it. Even so, mobile app can be very strong in some senses.
Look, I think that's a really good point. I've been in this business for almost 18 years, and even today, I still get briefs where it's just making an app. It's just making an app. I think part of the, and I'm speaking from a creative agency perspective, and I'd love to get your thoughts on the matter. But I think creativity as a whole is somewhat devalued in a lot of the briefs that I've seen, and a lot of the expectations that I get from an agency perspective. I guess my point is, are we as an industry valuing creativity in the mobile space And are we doing enough to provide engaging content and experiences that, as you said, Casper, that's going to resonate and is going to connect with our consumers?
I would definitely say we're getting better. We're seeing, I would say we see later on today a lot of good cases where they have thought about the content and the use of the mobile and how we can use it, and not just transforming traditional online desktop content over to the mobile phone. So I think it's getting better and better, but yeah, it's still not 100% there, if you ask me.
Yeah, just adding on to that, I think it's important for the delegates to actually ask that question, like, how do you brief to your creative agency to even engage with mobile? I think a lot of the more experienced clients, they have a very specific things that they need to get done, and that's where creativity is being preserved, and that's where it's being welcome. But a lot of the times when the clients are sending in requirement for mobile, it's just basically, hey, can you run that on mobile? That limits the creativity. I think on the agency side, on the platform side, there's a lot of creativity power that we're able to do. If you open up the brief, if you allow us to share those kind of creativity. So, hopefully we can get that kind of mind changing from the client side to open up.
Great.
I think from, since we started, evolved from the mobile advertising in the beginning days, early years, I think it was all about, getting the numbers, the conversion rates, the click-throughs, or it may be just how many people downloaded and stuff like that. But I think more and more everyone realized the fact that those are just numbers which looks good on the papers, and it's good, for you to say that it has worked. But finally, at the end of the day, what you want to do is to sell your product and to sell cases, right? And that's when I think in terms of understanding the behavior becomes very important. That because right now the only thing that we know is that, while mobile has the numbers, the reach, it's a very personalized medium. So you cannot use the same creative that you use across all other channels to be on mobile, because people don't really like it that way. So understanding, what the consumer needs are.
Moving away from disruption, right?
Yes.
Moving away from disruption.
Yes. So and then just doing it basically, what they want. And then I think more and more people are realizing, and as Casper mentioned, I think we are getting there, and a lot of people are focusing on having the right content, right kind of engagement. And also I think one of the things that we need to realize is mobile, there was this whole discussion, this mobile can be all in one medium, but I think, everyone said that it has the potential but may not be the situation. I think a good analogy that I heard about mobile is like, if you compare it to a burger, the mobile is the sauce. It basically percolates through the whole burger and it spreads it out. So I think that's where mobile is. And then if we have to have the right content and in combination with all the other touch points, we can multiply the effect. And I think in the next session when me and Casper talk, I will really share, my focus is going to be on content, because I think that's where I think we now need to focus, given that mobile as a device, we already understand it pretty well. Yeah.
As a secret sauce.
Yes, as a secret sauce, yes.
Delicious.
Yes.
One of the questions that's come, it's one of the questions I had actually as well, that seems to be trending, is the role of mobile in rural. Now I know again, as from an agency perspective, we also get asked this a lot. What are some of the ways in which mobile can play more of a critical path to communicating with our audience in rural? And maybe opening it up to you guys to see if there's any examples that we have or that we've seen or that we're doing that engages with communities in rural through mobile.
Can we answer this question next year? I think there's a lot of work is in place for that. We see that in our side that rural is a very important part for mobile. We're not talking smartphones. We're talking about just the regular phones that they're using to access our publisher platform. And we have ways to reach them. It's just about working with the requirements to get that developed and get that rolled out.
I think I'll just add on to this bit, because at Unilever we are doing a whole lot of work I think what keeps all my board and my senior leadership team awake at night is that how do we go rural, because 70% of the population in Vietnam is rural, and then we need to basically tap them. And obviously, I mean, it's unlike few other countries, because the closest always analogy that we have in terms of rural is looking at India, because I think they are already doing a lot in rural. But I think the context is a bit different in Vietnam, because it's not like media dark, unlike India is media dark in the rural areas. So I think, so for us, yeah, one of the key things is basically it's not smartphone, so you cannot use internet and digital and content and all those things. But at the same time, you need to understand few of the things, what triggers. So obviously, I mean, what we understand from the rural is that they are kind of skeptical when you ask them to send messages or whatever, because they always think that the brands are going to rob them of their currency or airtime, so they will usually not engage if you ask them to engage. The second point is that obviously, they are all prepaid users, and so the airtime is very critical to them. And the third is that, they are working on the phones, always on the go, so how we can provide them some kind of entertainment or something which is outside and on the go. So I think one of the, two case studies actually which Cheese shared today morning, which we did successfully. So one was in North, where we targeted the housewife with the engagement, quiz. So just to drive home the message of how the deficiency of vitamin A can cause malnutrition in the family. So, and because obviously kids, their life centered around their family and kids. The second thing that we are doing, which is inspired by the India case study, is the missed call campaign. So which has got a lot of recognition this year and last year. So I think, but we tweaked it in a way, because in India when they did the missed call, where you give a missed call, you get free entertainment. They call back and give you free entertainment. One of the things that we realized that in those markets in India, they are media dark. So whatever you give them, they will lap it up. But here it's not the case. So you have to give something which is they can't receive on TV or any other touch points. And that's where, we tied up with a famous celebrity, and this content was exclusively on mobile. And I think the campaign is on way, and we have to take a pause because, we have to refresh the content, but overall, it's a great success. So I think rural definitely is I cannot lay the importance of rural and mobile, but I think it's just that we need to separate the strategy completely from what we do in the urban areas versus what we do in rural. And obviously, we have to play on the insights very well to make sure that we get the right results from them.
I will definitely say that there is of course the SMS that we have seen, and also that Unilever have a case on. But I believe that when we talk about the rural area, we often talk about they don't have smartphone, but we also seen research data coming in that they accessing the internet, and you don't need a smartphone to access the internet from a mobile phone. You can do that from a future phone as well, but just not the same thing as you can from a smartphone. So I believe if we can, as advertiser, can find ways to build it to our products, to something there where we can then get them to interact with the brand, with their phone. I think there will be a lot of value to get from a lot of advertisers in this market. And just look at what they do in South Africa, where they have done this for ages, even before we saw the first smartphone coming into the market. And I think there's a lot of things we can do there and learn from that.
Tony, I'm going to put you on the spot. Segue to that is, from a technology perspective, are we able to specifically target certain consumers in rural and then obviously provide different messaging or different communications through mobile?
Definitely, because because of big data, and what I mean is because we have so much data on the consumer. If there's a need in the market to specifically target a demographic or a geographic or maybe even a psychographic point of view, we have those data available. It's just right now there's not a lot of requirement for those yet, so it's not readily available. But I think it's there. If you need it, let us know, and we're more than happy to work with you. To develop those kind of targeting capabilities. But for now, we already have geographic. So if you want to hit the cities, rural or non-cities, we're already doing that. And we have ability to optimize for age and for sex. So with those already in place, it should cover a lot of the requirements already. And technologically, we can even target, the traditional stuff you see on mobile is unit, handset, providers or whatever that you need is already there. Just basically picking up and using it.
Cool. Great. Now, for me, a lot of my social media experiences are now on mobile. I mean, how many people in the room use Facebook on their mobile more than they use it on their desktop? Yeah, everyone. 90%. And that's one of the other questions that we had is, you know, given the rise of the experiences that we're having through social on our mobile devices, from a marketer or a media perspective, are we dealing with this shift? Given that we're experiencing social through our mobile, from a media perspective, are we dealing with this shift in experiences that our consumers are having through a media landscape or through the way we target them, as opposed to them, you know, existing on the desktop and, you know, go to Facebook on their laptop or.
I would say we could be much better again on using the mobiles and those functionality that they give to us, and definitely from a board perspective, I think that with the social ads moving in, definitely going to be consuming more content. Let's say Facebook from a mobile phone. I think there we can definitely, you see that happening from Facebook right now. They're changing their ads formats right now, so it's much more usable for us on a mobile perspective. So yeah, the behavior is changing, but the challenge is still, if the advertisers don't have anywhere to send them to when you go on a mobile, then from my perspective, it's even better not to run them or to try to take all the mobile ad spend out, because we don't want to send them into something they cannot see or send it to something that will bring down the brand value. So I think there is a lot to do, but yeah, there's still a way to go.
I think expanding on that, not only we're using social media on mobile, but I think we're consuming a lot of our media on mobile. So, you know, and we see that. So what we need to do is not necessarily you have to you know, do anything new. You just have to optimize and make sure that your content is being accessible through the mobile unit. And we see a lot of success with that. You know, like a lot of you guys are already doing Facebook and various things, and you know that you need to have pictures and images and various things. Just make sure those things are accessible through the unit, and make sure there's a way that there's connection between the unit and social media. And we see a huge success with that, because sometimes when we develop the content, again, we forget that people are going to be using it with mobile, so we don't have a mobile accessible site. Or sometimes we have an image that we share on Facebook and we do it really nicely for the desktop, but then when it gets on mobile, all the letters are not legible and so small and various things. So just have those things in mind would already, you know, change a lot of that to incorporate some of the changes that are coming in. So yeah, it's already there, so make it work.
But I would definitely also say that one thing we do wrong when we look from a mobile perspective as well is that often we still think in campaigns. So we're building up huge mobile solutions. Or definitely use a lot of money on it, and then we're in for a couple of weeks and then we're out again. And if you look at our consumers, they don't want to just use it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They want to be there, they want to have it always on. They want to go there when they want. I think if we really look at our consumer insight, we'll build up solutions that can go on for months and not just campaign activities.
That's a really interesting point. You know, we always look at mobile as an extension, usually, of campaigns, which come in, come out.
Just on the social one, I just want to add on what we are doing in the, you know, to optimize social in the mobile technology. So I think for us, one is definitely what everyone said is optimizing your assets to ensure that it's on mobile. So I think that's really important. The other thing I was just thinking through, and you know, I think there are 4 C's that we are doing on mobile to make sure that the social media who's now primarily on mobile, we kind of target them well. So one is that in terms of consumer targeting. So I think right now when we optimize our targeting, so most of the social media or the social platforms now give you options of targeting by day part, by region, whatever. So based on how you optimize on mobile. So we are actually following the mobile trend in terms of which day part to go, which day to go, weekend, weekday, morning, afternoon, evening. So we are following the targeting. The second we are doing is in terms of understanding the content, because I think later there's a case study also which I will showcase. I think having content which is more appealing on mobile, or because you are using mobile, you don't have time to read through too much of text, or your mobile is moving, you are on the car or something, so you have more visual content doing that. So I think that's content. In terms of creative, whether you do big creatives, small creatives, is it the right size of the mobile, and how do you kind of do the creative? That's I think the third C. And the fourth important part is the call to action. I think because right now mobile gives you the opportunity of the buy now button, the try now button, go for a event or whatever. So I think consumer, creative, content, and call to action, these are the four things I think definitely we are focusing on more. And I think as part of the social moving to mobile, I think those four will be the critical pillars to that.
Right. So moving towards more right time marketing, I would say, because there's a lot of big trend now where we talk about real time marketing, but I think what you're saying is it's more right time context marketing that we should be doing.
Yeah, it should be meaningful to them, and it should be real time to them. So I think that's what we need to make sure we are.
I mean, with all this data, I think like we touched upon it before, all this information, all this test and learn aspects. Ask questions. Because for me it's an important question. And are we? I think we do a good job of getting these campaigns up. We do a good job of providing experiences and content. But again, I think one of the challenges that we face is: are we understanding enough? Are we putting enough value in understanding what we're doing and understanding what these right trigger points are? And when it comes to mobile, having that right approach to move forward. And maybe from a research perspective, are you getting those sort of briefs, and are we engaging with you to be able to, both from the agency and media side and also the client side, even the ad tech, to get that those measurements and to understand how we could be doing things better in the future?
I would like to echo Casper's points earlier. So I think that mobile is very personal and give you a lot of rich information about the users. So it's very much giving marketers an unique opportunities if we know how to use the data that is connected via the technology service providers. And you have to looking at mobile marketing beyond demographics, beyond the target groups, saying this age to this age, because it allows you also to know their habits, their behavior, the lifestyles. Then you can segment the markets very differently. And once you can get the mobile phone, which they open up their eyes until they close their eyes to go to bed, and you can get them become your consumer, love your brands. So that's how you're looking at the continuous. It's not comparing the campaigns. So I think that from that perspective, I don't think we are utilizing the data at the moment very well. Whether they come from research company or from your service providers or from the marketers itself. So there must be some sort of conversation and some solution that we can utilize that data much better to give you the business intelligence data.
Fantastic. Well, I think our time is up. I'm getting nudged. I'd like to thank my esteemed guests on the panel today, I hope that we can again test and learn, get better creativity, get better innovation through what we're doing, because that's what's going to drive the industry forward for us here in Vietnam. So thank you, everyone.
That was insightful. Thank you for the panelists and Albert. And can I have Casper and Satya back? Because they are the next presenters. They wanted to make sure that I invite them back. That's why they went. So, can you guys please come back? Satya, I would really appreciate if you can give us the number. You are the head of media. She said she can't share the number of how much you spend. But being the head of media, you should be able to give us that number of the car. Anyways, we are hoping that it's bigger and it gets bigger and bigger. It's bigger and better and will grow to greater heights. So what Casper and Satya are going to do is do a role play. We saw one role play in the morning. This is the second role play. They're going to showcase some of the case studies. I think Satya alluded to it a couple of times in his panel discussion, content. Yes. And some case studies where mobile is actually the hero in those campaigns, in those for those particular brands in Vietnam, and helps them unlock the brand potential and the strategy around that. And Casper's going to help him, being the agency person, working with Unilever and Satya, and they're going to tag team and share with us within 20 minutes. I'm being very specific on time because we want to finish on time.
Let's do 18 minutes.
18 minutes, perfect. And so, without further ado.
Thank you very much. The Hero of Advertising, what a fantastic title. Could somebody help me shifting the slide? Yeah, we have cried the wolf is coming for years, but now he's here. Back in 2007, I write an article that was the year that mobile advertising had a breakthrough. I could have used that article both in 2008, 2009, yeah, all the way up to today, because mobile advertising have not get that breakthrough that all the experts expected. So why do I believe this is happening now when the mobile advertising spend on broad media less than 1% of our clients' ad spend? I believe it's because there's three fundamental things that have changed the last 7 years. And you have already seen some of them. The first one is the technology. We're seeing the smartphone coming in nearly all over the place. We're seeing now that we're all running around with a small computer in our pockets. We're seeing tech providers launching smartphones where we're saying less than $100 for a smartphone now that nearly everybody can afford. That is one of the things. The second thing is the infrastructure. You can't nearly walk 100 meters around here in Ho Chi Minh City without being able to log onto a hotspot or Wi-Fi. Or if you're not on a hotspot or Wi-Fi connection, you have to 3D. And it's coming 4G and 5G soon. So the infrastructure is also now much more ready for online advertising and mobile advertising. The third thing, and maybe one of the most important things, is the content. The content we have today on mobile is much better than ever seen before. For once in a while, you're seeing content produced for the mobile phone where we listen to the inside of the consumer, where it gives me a purpose of a consumer to use an app, to go into a mobile website, to consume some content. And that is one very important thing, why I believe that mobile now have this breakthrough. I'm also looking at the mobile as the blue ocean, a blue ocean strategy of opportunities. Try to imagine any other media that is so important for the consumers, that they spend so much time on, and at the same time where the competition for other advertisers on ad spend are so limited. Try to imagine that if we took that perspective over to TV and see the perspective there. So therefore, it's also why I believe that mobile can be the game changer for your business. Because you can win market share with the mobile, but you can definitely also lose market share if you not do it right, or if you not do it right. So, and that is because the opportunities are so unique on the mobile. The first one of the opportunities is that the mobile can generate a new business model for us. One example, Vietnam MM, my favorite app here in Vietnam. On my way home from the airport last Sunday, I was sitting in a taxi. In less than 30 seconds, I went into the app, looking at the restaurant in Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City, ordered my food. 5 minutes after I was home, the food was there. Fantastic. This is what it's all about. It's giving me value as a consumer and trying to imagine how much this brings up new business opportunities for the restaurants here in Vietnam, here in Ho Chi Minh, or in Hanoi for that matter. So business models can be built by the mobile.
The second thing that I look as very unique for the mobile phone is the unique opportunity to target your audience. We have seen location-based companies being here today and explain some of those possibilities. In this market where FMCG, client, advertiser, is competing a lot, trying to imagine the minute before I'm just stepping into a supermarket, I'll be hit by the message why I need to purchase that product. That is one of the things that I think make mobile very strong. And the last thing that I see as a very strong thing is the possibility for the consumer to engage and interact with your content and with your brand. It's now easier for me than ever to get in contact with my consumer and make them create content. We all talk about the future's going to be content marketing. So you will see a case here in a few seconds where we see how the mobile is used to very easy generating content that is shareable and likable and that the consumer in that target group really wants. But I know it's not easy because you need to take a chance as an advertiser. You need to move into what I call uncharted waters. There's not a game plan how to do it because it's new for many. And you don't have just the result to go down and look to how it was performing last year. But I believe that you need to move into that area, into those uncharted waters, and try to take advantage of the blue ocean of opportunity that mobile brings with it. I would therefore now like to present Satya from Unilever that have gone into those waters and trying to win market share. And thank you, Satya.
Thanks, Casper. So I think what I'm going to discuss here is very specific because we have been seeing different cases and how mobile can be used in different ways. And I think the opportunities are definitely unlimited. But in the interest of time and just to stay focused, I think what I'm going to do is share 3 case studies from Unilever done in Vietnam and has been done over the last few months to a year. And I think the key idea here is to share that how we have moved mobile beyond a device or a handset technology to a different platform. And with that, the screen is okay. Yeah, and I think the idea is that how mobile basically can be leveraged in terms of content. So I think, as I've mentioned in the last panel discussion, I think content is a big area. While we have the numbers, we know how mobile as a technology can work. I think content is a big play for us, and I think that's what will make our consumers stick because it's a very personal device. So I think I'm going to share those 3 case studies, and then as I share it through, I'll just talk a bit about it. Can you play the video, please?
slowdown in sales. So, to reignite growth, we decided to relaunch this variant of beauty and affluence in Vietnam. So it's no wonder that the skin whitening category is highly competitive. Vaseline Healthy White, the leading brand in body care, was facing a slowdown in sales. So, to reignite growth, we decided to relaunch this variant and focus on the product's unique sun protection feature. However, when we looked at our target audience, we were faced with a major challenge. How do you sell a sun protection benefit to women who cover up every square inch of their body when they go out in the sun? It's ironic, as Vietnamese women, more so than any other population globally, claim that they feel pressure to look beautiful at all times, yet end up looking anything but when they go out in public. So we decided to turn things around by launching the Sundress Project. To kick off the project, we set up collection booths all over the country where women could donate their cover-up outfits in exchange for a full bottle of Vaseline Healthy White. In partnership with a famous Vietnamese fashion designer, we then remodeled components of the donated outfits into a collection of gorgeous, sleeveless sundresses. Design updates and exclusive behind-the-scenes interviews were made available on our mobile-enabled website. The campaign then culminated in a unique outdoor fashion show. Without sufficient budget to air the show on TV, mobile became our amplification channel to drive scale and to generate own media for the show. To achieve this, we built a mobile web app, which we then promoted to the highly influential crowd of the show. They simply had to snap their favourite garment with the app and share it immediately with their social networks. The person who took the photo that received the most likes at the end of the show won the garment that they snapped. Our consumers therefore became our paparazzi and our media channels, giving our event free, real-time coverage from every angle. The campaign generated over $120,000 in earned media, which is more than a 100% return on investment. Better still, Vaseline sales immediately turned around from the pre-campaign slowdown to positive growth, 3 times the rate of the body care market, reasserting Vaseline's position as the #1 brand in body care.
So I think this is one case study which, a bit back I spoke about 3 things that we need to do is basically content, 4 things actually: content, creative, consumer, and the call to action. So if you see that here in terms of creative, having the right creative which can engage on mobile, having the right content, basically using the consumers as the media channels, and the third is in terms of call to action where you like and the number of likes basically can get you the best dress. So I think all 3 were effectively used with this web-based mobile app, and I think the results are already, as we can see, was phenomenal, which we achieved through the Vaseline. So the next case that I'm going to share is for Pond's. Is the first visual content marketing. What I mean by visual content marketing, let me explain, but I think you guys see the video first. Can we have the video, please?
In 2014, Pond's decided to launch a new innovation translucent pinkish white glow. To fight against more than 80 local brands in the skincare category, our objectives are to create awareness, drive education about the new innovation, build relevance against the competition. Our well-educated modern consumers are expert information seekers for continuous beauty discovery. More than 79% online users base, nearly 86% like to read content on fashion, beauty. Research revealed consumers are highly dependent on mobile to seek instant information, but they lose interest if the content is too much text-based. Taking the powerful consumer insights, we created the first ever visual content marketing for our beauty-conscious consumers. The traditional textual-based heavy information was broken into more visual appealing content with visual note-takings, comics, infographics, photos, memes, and videos. to give maximum information in minimum time, thus making it accessible to feature phone users and smartphone users. This visual content not only became storable and shareable, but also more engaging. Every post visual content article was supported with banner ads to build awareness and engagement for the visual content. With strategic and innovative use of the content on mobile for the first time in Vietnam, Pod's visual content achieved 653,899 views on mobile. 162 content articles shared on mobile generated earned media of 200% ROI. Pod's market share increased by 3.2% in modern trade during the campaign period.
So again, if you see this case, I think the key insight that it was built on is that our consumers are urban consumers. They are busy, so which means that they have less time, and obviously they don't want to read content which are heavy text and too much of text based. So that's why this whole, based on that insight, we came up with the visual content marketing, which I think has not been done before. And obviously it was optimized on mobile in a way that they can read it on the go and then they can share it with their friends. So I think this is again another area where I think we took content to another level based on the key insights of our consumers, and it definitely translated to sales. Now the third case study that I'm going to share is about Dove, and obviously this has been a winner at the global as well as the regional APAC recently that was held in New York and Singapore. And I think let's just see the video and then maybe I'll discuss a bit about it. Can we have the video, please?
In 2013, Dove Vietnam, formerly the #1 brand in care and damage repair, had lost its leading position and market share to Pantene. So when they developed a product innovation that repaired damaged hair on a cellular level, we saw an opportunity to turn things around. We knew that talking about the science of cellular repair was not going to cut through the competitive noise of the hair care market, already overloaded with functional messaging. So instead, we focused on our consumer. Meet Lan, a modern 20-something-year-old woman who loves experimenting with new hairstyles. But because she's afraid of damage, she only styles her hair on special occasions. There is, however, one thing that Lan does on a regular basis, sharing selfie photos with her social networks. Together, these powerful hair and digital insights gave Dove a very clear role to play. By giving women the freedom to style their hair as often as they like without worrying about damage, we could empower them to love their hair more and feel selfie ready on every occasion. And so, Dove Hair Love was born. Because selfies are a mobile behaviour, this became the natural engagement hub of the campaign, supported and amplified by an integrated cross-media strategy. We kicked off the campaign by raising awareness about hair damage brought about by styling and other factors. Print, PR and TV were used to create a mass awakening. Online, women could test their hair love by getting a hair damage rating and a free trial kit. Once we had established the problem, we then introduced the Dove solution. A series of web-based livecasts enabled women to ask real-time hair care and styling questions to our Dove experts. And once they were damage-free and selfie-ready, they were then prompted by every media channel to download our mobile application and join our Dove Hair Love community, which gave them access to an unlimited range of styling inspiration. Users could sync our application with their mobile calendar to get custom styling suggestions and upload their own daily style selfies. To encourage the selfie behaviour, we rewarded women with Dove gifts when their selfies were liked, commented on, or shared in social media. Gift redemption was easy and performed direct via our mobile application. Selfie photos were also amplified out of home, projected in real time onto large LCD displays around the country. The campaign surpassed KPIs across all dimensions. Our app was downloaded by 40,000 people and rated #1 in our category. Engagement was also very high, with over a third of our users returning to the app at least one time during the campaign period. The campaign generated a 200% return on investment. And thanks to the socialisation of our selfie behaviour, we managed to reach 7.9 million users on Facebook, more than the entire Facebook population in our target audience. Best of all, Dove made a record-breaking share gain, surpassing Pantene in both shampoo and conditioner. Dove also surpassed Pantene in share of equity, reclaiming its #1 position in damage control.
So I think some of the key things that I want to highlight for this case is, one is obviously the insight of our consumers being heavily using selfie. So, but I think it's not that it's just not for our consumers, but I think across all consumers, selfie is now the trend, especially among the female gender. So that was something which was there. But I think what we did was how we created content and used social media to multiply the effect and have a lot of user-generated content, which came in the way. And I think that was effectively used, and also it was based on the fact that in terms of what they do on mobile, we clearly understood, and that was effectively used to to generate this kind of results. And it was not the app was created just for the sake of creating an app, because I think we spoke in the previous few sessions that app needs to happen only when it happens, and this is one example where we see that the app was the center, but it was optimized, and obviously it yielded the result that we wanted to have. So I think in summary, while all of these are good content, I think the basic media principles were still there. And two key principles across all these three case studies that I can clearly highlight is based on two things. That smartphone is the most popular device for accessing internet, so we all know that. And then the second is that social news, information, chat are the key online activities that our consumers do. So these things, when we look at isolation, it just says that okay, so what we do, and then I think, but this formed the basic platform based on which we were able to leverage the content, and then together it yielded the result that we wanted to do. So I think what's next is basically you have seen this. It's time for you to act and to join, and there has never been a better time than now. So yeah, so this is the time. Thank you.
Thank you guys, that was great. Case studies are always great to see. Makes it easier with less presentations, no death by PowerPoint. Quickly moving on to the next section, but before I do that, I've heard this repeatedly, smartphone, internet, smartphone, internet. I just want to have a raise of hands. Is any phone that accesses internet a smartphone? Why is it always said smartphone can access internet? A phone that accesses internet is a smartphone. So no? Why? What's a smartphone? But a feature phone can do all of that except for touch screen. But when for example, when Nokia launched their N series 5 years back, they said it was the smartphone. BlackBerry launched a QWERTY keyboard, it was a smartphone. But today, because we have touch screen, we say it's not a smartphone. I think that myth of smartphone and the rural population and all, I think we need to get out of it. As we move forward, and I think it's very important from an emerging market point of view also, if you're able to reach the consumer, they are able to reach you on internet. I don't think so we should discriminate between a feature phone, basic phone, or smartphone. It's the consumer you are reaching. Those are the channels that you are reaching through them. So just a piece of thinking that I've been doing since morning as I listen to more and more comments about smartphone and feature phone. But moving on, our next speaker, Ms. Tranti Lantan, Chief Executive Officer of Goals and Focus Media, is going to talk to us about mobile remotes. Call to action. We've heard a lot about engagement, a lot about what the marketing and advertising can do. But here she is talking to us about mobile's critical role in immediate sales, immediate call to action, and how that can be achieved as we move forward. So, Ms. Tan.
Quý vị khán giả buổi chiều, tôi tên là Thanh, giám đốc điều hành của công ty Gosun Focus Media và cũng là cổ đông sáng lập thuộc tập đoàn Gosun có 20 năm tại thị trường Việt Nam. Hôm nay tôi muốn chia sẻ với quý vị cái giải pháp quảng cáo mà đẩy được nội dung quảng cáo ở trên hai màn hình tại các điểm công cộng và màn hình smartphone. Vâng, đây là cái gọi là mô hình kinh doanh mà chúng tôi gọi là call to action. Các quý vị nhìn thấy là cái màn hình mà có cái màu đỏ ấy, đấy là cái màn hình mà là hệ thống quản lý nội dung trên màn hình tại tất cả các điểm công cộng. Và cái màn hình phía bên kia đấy là màn hình điện thoại di động, smartphone của khách hàng. Và các cái màn hình smartphone này thì sẽ có trong vòng bán kính khoảng 15 mét cách cái màn hình. Và hai màn hình này thì tương tác với nhau qua môi trường Wi-Fi. Đây là chúng tôi chọn cái thị trường mà chúng tôi quyết định là có cái sự tương tác giữa màn hình. Đấy là cái thị trường bán lẻ và đây là một cái mô hình tại điểm siêu thị. Và tôi xin mời các quý vị xem cái video thứ nhất để các quý vị có thể nhìn rõ hơn cái mô hình kinh doanh mà tôi vừa trình bày lúc nãy.
Chúng tôi tự hào ra mắt mạng lưới quảng cáo trên hệ thống digital poster kênh siêu thị lần đầu tiên có mặt tại Việt Nam. Được cải tiến từ mạng lưới quảng cáo trên LCD, TV dựa trên sự thấu hiểu thói quen đi mua sắm của người tiêu dùng tại kênh bán lẻ hiện đại. Các màn hình DV với thời gian phát ảnh từ 10 đến 20 giây.
Đây là cái giải pháp mà có thể là đẩy nội dung quảng cáo xuống hai màn hình. Thì tại tất cả siêu thị hiện tại chúng tôi có lắp khoảng 1.700 cái màn hình tại các điểm bán lẻ. Và cái số lượng mà chúng tôi tính toán là có khoảng 20% dân số Việt Nam đi siêu thị. Vậy thì làm thế nào đấy để mà 20% dân số Việt Nam này có thể là tiếp cận được 60.000 mặt hàng, làm sao mà cái mặt hàng của mình ở trong siêu thị có thể nổi bật so với cả những mặt hàng khác. Thì chúng tôi qua khảo sát của chúng tôi thì chúng tôi thấy rằng là khách hàng đi siêu thị chỉ muốn hai thứ thôi. Thứ nhất là khuyến mại và thứ hai là giá mà sản phẩm họ muốn mua. Thì để thỏa mãn được cái việc đó thì chúng tôi nghĩ ra là làm thế nào đấy để khách hàng có thể tiếp cận được cái thông tin mà siêu thị muốn chia sẻ, nhưng mà cái thông tin đó không phải để đến với tất cả mọi người mà đến những người nào quan tâm đến sản phẩm đó. Thì đấy là cái giải pháp mà chúng tôi đưa ra trong hệ thống siêu thị. Thì rất là tiếc là nếu như mà không có video thì là chúng ta phải chuyển sang cái phần tiếp theo.
Chúng tôi tự hào ra mắt mạng lưới quảng cáo trên hệ thống digital poster kênh siêu thị lần đầu tiên có mặt tại Việt Nam. Được cải tiến từ mạng lưới quảng cáo trên LCD, TV dựa trên sự thấu hiểu thói quen đi mua sắm của người tiêu dùng tại kênh bán lẻ hiện đại. Các màn hình DV với thời gian phát ảnh từ 10 đến 20 giây, lặp lại 1008 lần mỗi tuần sẽ giúp các nhà tiếp thị dễ dàng tiếp cận khách hàng mục tiêu của mình. Các màn hình DV kích thước từ 32 inch, độ nén HD được lắp đặt tại tất cả các khu vực tập trung đông khách tham quan mua sắm của siêu thị, từ người giỏ đến khu vực sản phẩm chăm sóc cá nhân, chăm sóc gia đình, thực phẩm đóng gói, thực phẩm tươi sống, cho đến các khu vực hàng may mặc, khu ăn uống, lối đi chung, quầy tính tiền và quầy dịch vụ khách hàng. Sự kết hợp DV và màn hình thứ hai mang đến sự gắn kết lâu dài với người mua sắm, giúp các nhãn hàng cung cấp thông tin khuyến mại đến đúng đối tượng và xây dựng khách hàng trung thành. Vượt trội hơn tất cả mạng lưới quảng cáo khác trên thị trường Việt Nam, DV kênh siêu thị của GreenHat được bổ sung sức mạnh từ công nghệ quảng cáo trên di động của So Smart. Người mua sắm không chỉ đơn thuần xem quảng cáo mà có thể tương tác xuyên suốt hành vi mua sắm thông qua các ứng dụng độc đáo và tiện lợi.
cái giải pháp này chúng tôi muốn làm từ rất là lâu rồi, nhưng mà đến bây giờ thì mới có thể thực hiện được, bởi vì nó phải có công nghệ và phải có rất nhiều thứ thì mới có thể làm được cái giải pháp này. Vâng, thì tôi muốn nói rõ hơn cái TVC mà chúng ta vừa mới xem. Thì, đây là bài toán mà khi mà chúng tôi làm giải pháp này là tất cả các doanh nghiệp, tất cả các nhãn hàng chúng ta đều muốn có doanh thu và đều có muốn làm sao mà có thể là có doanh thu lớn nhất. Vậy thì chúng ta nói với cả khách hàng của chúng ta điểm tốt nhất về sản phẩm của chúng ta như thế nào và nói bằng cách nào, thì chúng tôi chọn giải pháp là nói trên hai màn hình. Thứ nhất là màn hình tại siêu thị mà các quý vị nhìn thấy, và màn thứ hai là màn hình của người tiêu siêu thị ngay tại điểm của siêu thị, và chọn những cái nội dung mà họ muốn quan tâm, và chúng tôi sắp xếp để thể hiện cả trên hai màn hình này đồng thời cùng lúc, và những cái báo cáo tại thời điểm cũng sẽ giúp cho chúng tôi có thể chỉnh lý tất cả những cái nội dung đấy ngay lập tức. Thì đấy là toàn bộ những cái mà tôi gọi là chương trình giải pháp call to action của chúng tôi. Một câu hỏi nữa là theo kinh nghiệm của chúng tôi thì là những nhóm khách hàng nào phù hợp với cả giải pháp này, thì chúng tôi chọn giải pháp thứ nhất. Nhóm khách hàng thứ nhất đấy là nhóm khách hàng tất cả những cái thương hiệu mà họ muốn nhắm tới 20% dân số Việt Nam đi siêu thị mỗi tuần ít nhất một lần. Thì ví dụ như là chúng tôi có những khách hàng như là mobile phone, ví dụ như là Paul, ví dụ như là Viettel. Và nhóm khách hàng thứ hai mà chúng tôi quan tâm đấy là những người mà quan tâm tới địa điểm mà chúng tôi đang có màn hình, được quan tâm tới đúng cái nhóm đối tượng khách hàng trong đúng thời điểm đó. Thì đấy là những cái chúng tôi có thể ví dụ như là các chương trình happy hour, tất cả các cái cửa hàng thức ăn nhanh ngay tại điểm đó mà sáng nay chúng ta có nhìn thấy các bạn ở bên Outlet Media, các bạn có nói về cái bánh mì ấy, thì đấy cũng là một cái mà lựa chọn vào cái location base. Đối tượng khách hàng thứ ba đấy là tất cả những khách hàng của chúng tôi mà họ muốn giới thiệu sản phẩm mới, muốn cho khách hàng thử nghiệm sản phẩm. Và nhóm khách hàng cuối cùng đấy là nhóm khách hàng mà họ quan tâm tới dịch vụ giá trị gia tăng cho tất cả những khách hàng có điện thoại di động. Để có thể thực hiện được cái giải pháp mà chúng tôi gọi là call to action thì có ít nhất là 5 yếu tố cần và đủ để thực hiện được giải pháp này. Thứ nhất là chúng ta phải có màn hình tại tất cả các điểm mà chúng ta muốn nói chuyện với cả người tiêu dùng. Yếu tố thứ hai là chúng ta phải có một cái gọi là ứng dụng tức thời, ứng dụng không cần download, ứng dụng mà có thể sử dụng được tất cả các cái kết nối hiện tại là thông qua wifi, thông qua 3G, 4G. Và yếu tố thứ ba đó là sự sáng tạo. Sáng nay chúng ta cũng nghe rất là nhiều mọi người nói về vấn đề là sáng tạo, chọn nội dung gì mà khách hàng có thể là có nhiều người muốn tương tác với cả cái nội dung của mình nhất. Và cái sáng tạo trên mobile thì hoàn toàn khác hẳn với tất cả những cái media từ trước đến nay. Thứ tư đấy là chúng ta cần có một cái platform để có thể là quản lý, kết nối tất cả những cái gì mà chúng ta đã nói từ trước đến nay. Và cuối cùng là một cái báo cáo rất là khác biệt. Báo cáo đối với cả media sẽ rất khác, giống như là sáng nay chị Mai có nói là đối với cả mobile là báo cáo đấy là màn hình cá nhân của người ta. Vậy thì báo cáo gì trên cái màn hình cá nhân của người ta, báo cáo gì để mà đảm bảo quyền riêng tư. Thì đấy là tất cả những cái yếu tố, 5 yếu tố cần và đủ cho cái giải pháp chúng tôi gọi là call to action. Chúng tôi có, trước đây thì công ty chúng tôi là Go Sun Focus Media mà, thì chúng tôi cũng bắt nguồn từ những gì mà chúng tôi đã làm. Thì tôi vừa mới trình bày với quý vị, đấy là cái giải pháp mà chúng tôi đang thể hiện ở tất cả các cái trung tâm thương mại, siêu thị, kênh bán lẻ hiện đại. Và chúng tôi có một cái sản phẩm nữa, đấy là tất cả các màn hình tại các tòa nhà, trung tâm thương mại. Thì tôi cũng muốn trình bày một cái giải pháp nữa đối cho cái loại hình màn hình ở tất cả các tòa nhà. Vâng, xin mời video thứ hai.
Goldson Focus Media JSC, one of Vietnam's leading mobile ad networks, is constantly looking to reinvigorate itself by searching for new and effective solutions in the mobile marketing service. Today, it is a pleasure to introduce our latest product in the mobile market, mobile video. Mobile video will be offering advertising content to brands targeted end users on our extensive mobile ad network. The specific ad info is also filtered by our smart system based on users' locations, operating system, carriers, time, and type of handsets. Our network with over 1,500 publishers, 1 billion page views per month, can guarantee that selected content will reach mobile users anytime, anywhere. Additionally, Video Banner will show specific ad info based on mobile users' interests and habits, and full-screen TVC is accessible in one tap on the banner. Once a mobile user shows significant interest in the advertised product, interactive links on the video banner will present the mobile user with links to information on the product, such as review by other customers page, landing page, and fan page. It is Goldson Focus Media's belief that an advertisement has to be delivered effectively to end users, which is why Goldson Focus Media only charges brands once 5 seconds of the video has been played. Trial and experience the different way. We provide real-time report on the effectiveness of your campaign. For more information, please visit www.demo.sosmart.vn. Thank you for your time.
Vâng, thông điệp của cái TVC bây giờ rất là đơn giản. Đấy là nếu mà là khách hàng của chúng tôi chạy video trên tất cả hệ thống SNS của chúng tôi thì khách hàng ít nhất là sau 5 giây chúng tôi mới tính tiền một cái view đó. Và cái giải pháp của chúng tôi là chúng tôi đã nghiên cứu cách đây 3 năm. Chúng tôi cũng phải trả lời câu hỏi với các cổ đông của chúng tôi là nếu chúng tôi làm cái giải pháp này thì có thành công không? Và ai đã thành công rồi trên thị trường quốc tế? Thì tôi cũng muốn chia sẻ với quý vị là cái video cuối cùng là họ đã thành công như thế nào ở nước ngoài. Xin mời video cuối cùng. Cái subtitle
reflected on sales, customer engagement, connections to Wi-Fi, etc. The new technology we have in our two-store trial allows our customers to connect to the store Wi-Fi, and as a result of connecting to the Wi-Fi, they get access to some exclusive mobile offers.
You can then download that offer, and that presents you with a barcode. As you're exiting the store and paying for your weekly shop, you can redeem that coupon, and that is captured on the spot. When they come back into store, our system will pick up that are a repeat customer, so we'll know what offers are of interest to those customers, and therefore it allows Coles to market more efficiently. Results have been fantastic. Initially, we noticed people connecting and needing a little bit of help. Gradually, over that period of time, the individuals that have been interested in those offers that have been uniquely changed week on week are connecting to the Wi-Fi themselves and are quite proficient.
But the most impressive part of the trial is that the average basket size of someone who's using this technology is around 2.5 times what the normal shopper would be.
I know our friends from Coca-Cola would say that they ran out of stock one week. Such was the success of the offers.
I think the Wi-Fi special is a great idea because it gives you a memory boost as soon as you walk in without having to look for the specials that are available.
To be able to have that at fingertips, I would definitely come back to this store and do my shopping here. It would be something that I would definitely use. We work to a family budget and always looking for things that are on sale.
Vâng, cái thông điệp của TVC này là tất cả những khách hàng mà họ có tương tác tại điểm siêu thị thì là giỏ hàng họ to gấp 2,5 lần